Well, I'll start off with games, this time of year are really ugly. And I thought we did some really good things today after a tough loss against Stanford. But there was like a end of third quarter really tough patch with a lot of different combinations. That where we turned the ball over, couldn't handle the press, gave a lot of momentum. I think they scored more at one point than they did in the half. So those are kind of mental mistakes that we can't get rattled. And some of it's on me because I did play a lot of different combinations. I was trying to get a lot of different people in the game and try some different things because as we're progressing, I need to kind of see how different combinations play together. And, Paris, I think, has earned some minutes. Caitlin, I think, it has been good. Maya playing some more minutes through some different stuff. And some of those combinations aren't that great together, which is okay. But, just working through that a little bit. But happy with our win.
Is there something to games like this where it just seems like it flows easily for Shayna offensively?
Yeah, I think, I think also players have confidence against certain teams, and when you play usually well against them the first time, I think you're confident the second time, and she played really well attacking the rim one-on-one at Cal, so I think this game she also just was confident and did a good job. In transition, really pushed the ball, and really did a good job of pushing the ball, and just has an advantage one-on-one. And I thought, Shayna, we were talking about you, Shayna, did a really good job of hitting these open jumpers. And was confident taking them, and they looked good, and they were on. So I think she did a really good job. And we could have had Shayna as player of the game, could have had as Mary. I mean, we really had 3 players of the game. I thought Lauren, I think the reason why everybody suggested Lauren and what I think about Lauren is that she was out of the starting lineup today. Could have hung her head, came in flat, and I think really came in like the Lauren that we know she can play like. And I think that's one of the reasons. But, as Mary's almost a triple-double, and I think Shayna with 24 points. So yeah, you did have 5 turnovers. I remember those. Yeah, she doesn't. And that's one thing. So think of the last game. Shayna had 5 turnovers. I mean, she's been great. Like 4 assists, 0 turnovers, or 5 assists. She's done a really good job. Today, is a little.
They were pressing me.
They were pressing.
Yeah. So I had nobody to pass to. They was pressing me.
Yeah, so just throw the ball to the other team. It's okay.
Might as well.
No, but I think it's just, and then teams get confident. They start just like we do. We get confident. Then it's like more stuff. Then you get a little bit more intense. That's normal, but we'll be better at that.
And as with, almost that triple-double, just talk a little bit about how her assists, the way she finds people.
She does as Mary does a really good job of, she doesn't force stuff inside. So when the ball goes to her, there's 2 people, she does a good job of looking opposite. I think her, and even Maya, really good job of passing out. And then, Lauren hit some shots, Shayna hit some shots, other people hit shots, so she did a good job. I didn't know she had 7 assists though. In the game, I didn't remember 7 assists until I saw the stats.
What does it mean to you, or when you see 7 assists from your post player?
It means they're doing a really good job of being intentional in finding shooters, or in transition, she did a good job of hitting Shayna. I think just when you're looking for that, it's really good. Because typically our assists don't come primarily from the post, and they sometimes have more turnovers than assists. So for her to have 7 assists, 3 turnovers is a really good stat. I think she dominated today, and she's been sick all week. So she missed a few days of practice this week. Has been struggling, breathing, so for her to do that all sick and come back, I'm really proud of her. I think she had 15 rebounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 15 boards. Really good job control. 15, 15, and 7. The plus 30 efficiency is really good.
Shayna, as you were coming in, I just asked Adia why it seemed like the game just kind of flowed easy for you today. What would you assess kind of was the reason for that?
I think I just came into the game composed. I know that the last game we didn't play the way we wanted to, and we had we had a couple of days of practice to, just kind of get a feel for things again. And I feel like my mindset this game was just to let the game come to me and just, make shots when I take them, and get my teammates good shots as well. So just play within my role and just letting the game come to me naturally.
She said also she felt you were confident the last time you played Cal. Do you feel like you go into games second time around, if you played well against them the first time, the second time you have even more confidence?
Yeah, because you're more prepared. You know what to expect. You know how they're going to guard you. Pretty much everybody guards me the same in this conference. But yeah, you know what to expect the second time around. So there's a lot of confidence going into second matchups with teams in this conference. So, yeah.
So how would you describe the way teams guard you?
They don't pressure me because they can't guard me speed-wise. They can't. So they'll stay or they'll guard me at the free throw line. And sometimes that doesn't even work. So honestly, yeah, that's just how teams guard me in this conference. And I take it as a compliment, but also kind of disrespect because, I got to make shots. And I think I did a good job of doing that today.
Yeah, and then she continues to do that. They can't guard her like that. So then you have to pick your poison. Just like if you're guarding a really good shooter, you have to run them off the three-point line. So think about Maddie. She only took threes last year. Now she's doing a great job of attacking the rim. She's going to have open layups. And she's going to go to the foul line, which she's been 90s, like second in the country or something. So I think that Shayna, the more she hits those shots, the tighter they're going to have to play her, and the more layups she's going to get. That's because you have to pick your poison and take away something.
And I don't need a lot of room. If they just take one half a step closer, it's over with. I'm telling you right
So
now.
keep on hitting those jumpers, Shayna, see? No, it was really good. She did a good job. But like as a team, I don't know the last time we had 19 turnovers. It's a lot for us. So.
After that Stanford game, Adia kind of said that you're kind of the catalyst of the defense and she needs you to be pressuring the ball more. How'd you feel, both of you, that went today?
I think I tried to pay attention to that more. I wasn't perfect by any means, but I did feel like while I was playing, I was more conscious of, trying to pressure the ball. And I think overall as a team, we did a better job of trying to do that. Again, we're not perfect yet at it, but I think the focus was there. Like we were thinking about it while we were playing.
I agree. I think, from your standpoint, from your vantage point, wasn't it a lot better defensively? Like more of a sense of urgency, more aggressive, you'd say, right? Not saying there wasn't mistakes, but just more sense of urgency and I think hustle. We still let a lot of, the balls, some things like the bad news bloopers, whatever, but bad news bears. Sometimes I was embarrassed. Like, the ball hits us on the head. I was like, what the? I was scratching my thing. Like that kind of stuff. Or not, the ball, goes in front of your legs and, no one bends. Like, that drives a coach crazy. You want to, sub everybody out. But those are things that in the past we didn't allow those few things. And I think what I was telling the team is that's the difference of, being a top 10 team or a tournament team. It's the little things. It's the margin of error is very small, right? So it's getting to those. It's being matched up, so you're not allowing we almost gave up after a free throw, we almost gave up the layup. She missed it. And that's why on the bench they were because we have an agreement that there's going to be a consequence, and they decided if they miss that. So we don't miss those. That's why everybody on the bench is going crazy. But those are attention to detail things. So those small things, you take away those 5 things, that's a difference of a lot of points in the game. So it doesn't matter now, it matters in those one possession, like the Utah game. That little thing matters. You don't lose off the last shot. You lose off the missed box out in the first quarter. So I think just understanding that, and I think that their age is hard to understand that.
The team won the points in the paint battle, rebounding battle as well. What do you think the difference was today as opposed to Stanford? Beyond Stanford, maybe having more size.
Stanford's huge. Yeah. Stanford just way better.
Exactly. Was there a different approach though today, attacking the paint? Or?
Yeah, I think it's easier to attack when you don't have 6'6" inside. So the approach is attack because there's no 6'6", and 6'8". I think the difference is that we weren't happy with how we performed against Stanford, and I think we came back, and we've had really good bounce back games. So you look at Kansas, and then you look at how we played against Baylor. All the games we've lost, we've responded really well, and what I'm trying to instill with the players is it shouldn't take an ass whooping, get your face punched in, and then hard practices, early shoot around, intense to play well. There has to come to a point with maturity where it's you expect that of each other, and that's the standard. And regardless, you can lose. You may lose it. We may lose against Stanford. Stanford's better. We can beat them. We can lose to them. But it's the manner and how you lose, and it's how you're gonna lose. So you can lose and fight like we did in the last 4 minutes of Stanford, or you can just give up all this other stuff and lose. And I think there's different ways, and we're figuring that out with 7 new players. This same group together 3 years, we're gonna be way better. So I think just understanding now, how do we make that step to become a better team? How do we focus on these next games 1 game at a time and prepare for the tournament and then the Pac-12 tournament? So it's 1 game at a time. We're focused on Utah. Yeah, we won today. We're focused then. So what can we do better than we did last time against them to win? And I think just understanding and narrowing our focus is what we have to do right now. But I don't want it to have to take losses to come back and be reset. So.
And Shayna, for you, a different starting lineup today, and you guys came out with more intensity. what was that like for you? Because you always played with the same other 4 people coming, starting off the game from the tip. And today you didn't. So what was that sort of like for you? And what was your mindset to come out and play with that intensity right off?
I mean, I wasn't really something I was like honestly really focusing on. I think that what we really do well of in practice is that a lot of these girls that we play with each other in practice every day. We do different lineups to see, who can work together and who can't. So it's never like we're going into a game with a new lineup that we've truly never played with because of what we do in practice. So I think that really helped prepare us, and that it was just it's just another ball game. We know, Maddie's a great shooter. We know Helene is a great shooter, so that just gives us a little more options offensively. And Helene is a great defender, so it's just it's nothing that we weren't used to. So yeah.
Shayna, what was your takeaway from Esmery's performance?
She's a dog. I mean, yeah, 15 points, 15 rebounds, man. I mean, for her size, she is tall, but to do that in this conference with this conference is known to have size. So I mean, it's really impressive, and honestly, she needs to keep doing it because we need more of that, and she's very capable of doing this every night when she wants to. So hopefully she chooses to do that.
The fouls, as Mary wasn't in foul trouble this weekend.
Yeah, so there's the magical formula. You stay at a foul, you probably play more. You get in foul trouble, you probably sit. It's just, she's played more minutes and played better when she's not in foul trouble. So I think just she's been smarter. She has been smarter, and just making better decisions. Not going for some of those just crazy things, but she still gets some tough calls. I think once you have remember last year, a couple of years ago, Kate would flop and get a lot of calls, and then but it was good, it was smart, but then you kind of get less of those. So I think as Mary, once you're known to foul, I think when you're aggressive, you get calls. But I think the refs did a good job of controlling the game, and I think there was one call that was kind of questionable when she fell down, but usually there's 2 or 3 like that. But I want her to stay playing how she does, but just not go for the out of positions, silly ones, and then she can play like that.
Obviously, you look at the box score with the changes you made to the lineup, and the initial thought would be, well, this didn't work because Maddie and Helena both didn't score any points. But how do you assess that aspect of it, considering Maddie's kind of been that point spark off the bench?
Yeah, I don't put a lot of stock in that because I think there's different psychological things, and the game was different. We then played a lot of defense today, so we pressed more. So coming in and out is hard for a player. I have confidence, and I believe in Maddie. I know she can shoot. I know what she's capable of. That's why I believed her enough to put her in that lineup. If I didn't believe in her, I wouldn't have put her in. So I don't care about one of those games. It wasn't Jade's game's last game. That wasn't a factor why she wasn't in. We're just trying to use different combinations. So there's going to be the next game. She may start, she may not. It's just some of it depends on matchups. I know what she's capable of. I know that our team is capable as a whole for playing better. And I mean, Lauren, the same thing I can say for Lauren. Well, Lauren came in great, played off the bench. Should she be on the bench? Those are hard. And I think there's also more pressure as a player. When you're starting, you're probably a little bit more nervous. The role is different. I think those are factors that go into that. So I don't put a lot of stock in one game. I just look at more patterns. But I thought Lauren played great today, and she came off the bench. So it's not does she need to come off the bench? Who knows? I just have to do what's best for the team and what's going to make us play the best. So even trying to figure that out a little bit right now.
You feel like you have an advantage? Is that the style game where you can take that type of chance? I mean, obviously you wouldn't do that against a Stanford.
Yeah. Well, unless we're down by a lot. No, yes. That's what I said to the team. So when you have an opportunity, it's a privilege because there's what young players don't understand is there's only so many combinations. So if you want to play a young player like a freshman with forward upperclassmen, there's only so many rotations. So then you can't get all the young players in because there's not enough basketball, right? And that's what people don't understand. You can't just put 5 freshmen in together or 4. It's really hard. So I think them understanding that when you get the opportunity, you have to do your best because you're trying to earn minutes for the next game. Like Paris did that against Stanford. She earned some more today. She did a good job today, so she's earning them. Kaylin's capable of doing better. Maya did that against USC. So it's different players. So I think for me, it's seeing who's ready at that time. And some games are for different players. There's a really big post players at Stanford. The game's probably going to be more of a guard game. There's really small guards against Cal, let's say. Maybe our guards post up more, so it's more of a guard game. So there's different games for different people. And what I like about our team is we have different options. So we can have more of a defensive lineup. We have everybody in our team, they can all score. Like, no one cannot score, so that's a good thing. But then defensively, sometimes if we have a scoring lineup, we don't play great defense. So it's figuring out what we need at that time in the game. And the good thing is we can play differently. So.
How do you inspire Lauren to play on offense like she did in that first half? Because you could see in her eyes she had a different fire to her. She got some good assists and 10 points there.
I think that's the magic question for every player. I just think that there's some points on like teams where players get really comfortable. Like me, I'm not a coach who usually changes starting lineups because I think there's good with consistency, but I think there's sometimes you have to shake things up so people have more of a sense of urgency. And I think I don't know, I just had a great talk with her today, and I believe in her. If I didn't believe in her, I wouldn't have her in, but it's not only about scoring. Like, she's one of our best defenders. So, Shayna and Lauren, so she was earning time with that. So, but she's capable of doing what she did today. That's the expectation. But I'm not going to put pressure on her to do that because it may one day be her game. It may one day be Jade's game. I don't want to, but I know she's capable of being as consistent at how she played today. She can do that. And that's not too much to ask for her, but I don't want her to play with pressure. I don't want her to play with any weight. I want her to play free, and I think today she played free. I think today, I think she's back. So, and now as a coach, it's fine figuring out if I were to switch her back or keep her there, how do I sustain that? And that's the hard thing as a coach. That's what you have to try to do. But I think sometimes you have to light a fire as a coach, and that's normal. And when people are really comfortable, they can become complacent. And I think that's what you don't want in your team. You don't want people to be comfortable. You want them to have a sense of urgency. So, cool, thanks.